Hello everyone and welcome back to Final Mile Gaming. I've been AWOL for a while, but you know what, we're not even going to worry about that because sometimes you just need a break. In this video, I am going to show you how I have taken my character on Stranded Deep, the game is Stranded Deep by the way, and basically made him live indefinitely. He can basically live as long as I want him to, or until they make changes to the game and inevitably kill him or kill my save game, because this game is still in alpha, and that happens a lot with alpha games, as I learned with The Long Dark. But anyway, I'm not going to give you a tour of my crib. I'll do that later. This is all about survival. Okay, so we're just going to jump right into it. The first thing with surviving on this game is basically food and water. Shelter's not that big of a deal. This is also the just the standard version. It is not the experimental version. Had I realized I had not opted in for the experimental version, I would be playing on that. But I didn't realize until, like, I don't know, 50 or 60 days in, and I was like, yeah, nope, I'm not going to restart all this crap. By the way, I am day 222 right now. And let me double check on my garden real quick, because if I get to talking, I will lose. Okay, there's fine. All right, so the two most important things on this game are food and water. Okay, now to make water, you can't collect it in buckets anymore unless they've changed to the experimental version, but keep in mind, this is just the standard release. It's not the experimental. So right now, the only way that I know of you can collect water is using a water still. Now, water stills require fuel. It could be either palm fronds or fibrous leaves, and you throw them in there, and for every one you put in, basically, it will create one serving of water. Okay, that's all fine and good. That's a perfectly good way to make water. You know, you could have a few of these, keep throwing fibrous leaves under there, and boom, you've got water. But there's a problem with that. One, to get fibrous leaves, you have to cut down these young palms. To get palm fronds, you have to cut down palm trees. To do that, you need tools. So now you could literally, like, you could stretch your tools out. I did it, and it's possible you can make these tools last a long time. For instance, you take a stone tool like this and use it until it's almost done, and then you take it and a stick and you turn it into a knife, and you, of course, once you make a refined knife, it's basically, once you use it, it's gone. However, with axes, there's a refined axe here. You can also cut down trees and stuff with stone tools as well. So what you do is you take a stone tool and you use the stone tool until it's down, and it's almost about, like, the durability is like below 10%. I mean, you want to push it farther than that, go ahead, but there's a chance you break your stone tool, and you just wasted an opportunity to make a new tool out of that one. So what I was doing, I don't have to do this anymore. What I was doing was I would use, like, a stone tool down until it was almost to, like, 8%, 6%, something like that. Then I would sit it to the side. I'd get another stone tool and I would use it, because I'm pretty sure it takes 2 stone tools. Let me look real quick. Yeah, to make a crude axe, 2 stone tools, 1 stick, and 1 lashing. So 1 lashing is 4 fibrous leaves. So yeah, I would have 2 stone tools that were almost completely gone. All right, each one would be down to, let's say, 8%. All right, so I would take some of the fibrous leaves that I cut up. I would make a lashing. I'd get a stick that I cut down, and I would put it together and make a crude axe. Now that brought all of that back up to 100% when you did that. The durability on the crude axe is at 100%. So now what I would do is I would use that axe until it was down to like 2%. A lot easier to keep track of that one, because you can know it's like 2% every hit or something like that. But anyway, so yeah, I would use it down until it was around 2%, and then I would get a piece of leather and I believe another stone tool, which also I would have used until it was almost gone. And then I would have turned it into a refined axe. Now that took that crude axe and took it from 2% to a refined axe all the way back up to 100%. So I literally, instead of only getting, like, I think you get to cut like 40 or 50 items out of this right here, like fibrous leaves, for instance, maybe 40. I don't really know. I don't remember. It's been a long time. So instead of just getting 40 out of a stone tool, or going ahead and making it all the way up to a refined axe and maybe getting 100, cuts out of it, I just got like 350 cuts out of the same 2, well, technically 3 or 4 stone tools. But anyway, I would be using those stone tools as well too. So yeah, it would be 400 cuts out of the same 4 pieces of material. So that is how I stretched my my tool usage, so that I could get all of this stuff built. But even that is not, it's not sustainable eventually, because you need rocks to make stone tools. So eventually you're going to run out of rocks, and therefore you will not be able to cut up anything again. So you need a way to get water into the stills. You need a way to collect water without having to use, that animation's wrong, that's actually empty, as you can see. It's alpha. So you need water. Okay, fine. So you need to figure out a way to make water. Okay, luckily, when it rains, these do collect water, which is why there's water in them right now. A heavy thunderstorm will put 2 servings of water in each one of these stills. A light rain will put 1 serving. So, okay, there you go. All you need is enough water stills to survive until the next thunderstorm. Okay, 7 days tops, maybe 10 days. Okay, so there you go. All right, that solves the water problem. Every time it rains, it's going to fill up. All right, now we got to worry about food. You can't kill anything because you can't eat like raw sardines anymore in the game. You used to be able to. So you have to cook everything. But to cook everything, you need some kind of fuel for the fire. Therefore, you need some way to cut stuff down. So again, that is not sustainable. However, having gardens, which I realized later on that this is way more than I needed, because I mean, I could sit here and pick fruits off this tree or that tree, for instance, forever. There's probably 70, 80 pieces of fruit on that tree. So yeah, this was definite overkill. It was enough to get me started, but after I had got going, I don't really need this many garden fruit trees anymore, potatoes or anything like that. Okay, so we've got ourselves covered for water. Now we have ourselves covered for food, but we also need water to water the garden. And the garden will last about 4 full days before the plants will die. Once it's dead, I actually recently discovered that once it dies, a single fruit will fall down. So you got a dead plant and you have a spoiled fruit. Well, that's great, because that wasn't like that before. So I actually kept, let me get over here. So I actually kept backups here in case I did screw up or got stranded somewhere on another island for a while and couldn't get back to water my garden and everything died. I could replant it, because you can plant spoiled fruit and it will still sprout and grow. Okay, so now I need enough water to water all of my garden and me in between rainstorms. So through a bunch of experimentation, I decided how many water stills I would need to last 10 days, at least 10 days on what's stored water. So I've determined, and I'm actually going to make a few more because I actually almost ran out of water one time. Oh God, it's getting dark. So I made a water farm, basically. So every time it rains, these will get, if it's a thunderstorm, like I said, these will get 2 servings of water. If it's a light rain, they'll get 1. So yeah, every time I need water, I come over here, I fill up all of my little clay water jugs, which they themselves hold 5 servings of water each. They're all full right now. Of course, I just had a couple of storms come through, which is why this is all full. But also another thing you have to keep in mind is how you use your resources. Just like with the knives and everything, using the water stills is the same way. Now, if I was to come over here with a jug, we use these 2 right here for an example. If I was to come over here with one of my jugs and I was to get 4 servings of water out of this one and leave this one full and then go back. Okay, now we have a thunderstorm, which is going to put 2 more servings in this one. But this one's empty, so I'm not going to get anything in that one because you can't hold any more than 4. So now I have 6 servings of water. As when I started, I had 8. Now, do the same thing, except take 2 servings out of this one and 2 servings out of this one. You still have 4 servings of water in your jug. Now, let's say a thunderstorm comes in. It's going to put 2 servings of water in this one and 2 servings of water in this one. So it's going to replenish it back to full on both of them. So you're using the water that you have stored, but you're also getting the maximum amount you can back. So you're not losing anything. It's a perpetual. So planning things like that helps you survive longer on the game also. So what I do when I come over to collect water is I'll take 1 serving from here, 1 from there, 1 from there, 1 from there, 1 from there, and go all the way around and take 1. And then if I need more, then I come back and take 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That way when it does storm, I'm getting an equal amount of water back in all of them, and I'm not just emptying 1 and only get half of what I took out back. So yeah. And once I had that established, that was it. Every morning I come out, I tend to the garden to make sure there's water in it. This one really needs to be weeded, but they haven't put that in there yet. To make sure there's plenty of water in them and they're not about to die. And another thing is I track the weather. If it's going to rain on a day, it'll usually rain around noon It usually rains between like noon and we'll say 1 o'clock. It usually rains by 1 p.m. If it doesn't rain by 1, it's probably not going to rain that day. So I usually wait till like 1 p.m. and then water the garden. I have potatoes. I picked them now, but you can't. Potatoes used for fuel, which again, to make fuel needs resources. So again, that's a luxury I'm not always going to have, depending on how long I want this guy to live. So yeah, that's it. Once I had that, and I was able to start regularly watering my garden, turns out I didn't need as much food as I thought, you know, after I got going. So I could actually let a couple of these plants die, and I would be fine. But yeah, that's it. That's how this guy is surviving, basically forever. I can make him live here as long as I want him to. I also made a lookout tower, but that'll be included in my tour video, which I guess I'll do that one next. So, yeah, let me know down in the comments how you all have been playing this game, how you have decided, how you've figured out how you were going to survive basically as long as you wanted to on an island. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I will yell at you all again real soon. Take care.